matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Who is the best player on the Raiders roster entering the 2020 season? I want you to scroll on down and let me know in the comments section. Because on today's show, I am going to rank the top 10 best players entering the season. And we're going to do it like this, starting at 10, working our way all the way down to number 1. At number 10 here on our list of best Raiders entering the year, I got Richie Incognito, offensive guard. And on December 30th, the Raiders, they signed him to a 2-year, $12.7 million deal. And when that happened, honestly, you can put your ideas of what you think of him maybe off the field, but on the field, he's a very good player, and he brings a lot of toughness to this team. And when you go back and look at, I think, at the really successful Raiders teams, it's built on toughness. And that's what Incognito brings, especially, obviously, on that offensive line. Now, he played in 766 snaps last year. He did face 8 penalties. I would like for him to clean that up a little bit, but no quarterback hits. He did allow a sack, and he is still one of the best offensive linemen in terms of the running game. Let's go to number 9 now on my list, Nick Kwiatkowski. And going to be a first-year player for us, and as soon as the Raiders went out and signed him in a free agency, I was super excited. Now, when I look at what they offered him, I think it's a pretty fair deal, but when you see his upside, when you see that he's a quick learner, you can see that very, very quickly, even though he has started in only 22 games, okay, or appeared in only 22 games. When the Bears had a lot of injuries last year, Kwiatkowski stepped up, and I thought he played pretty well. 76 tackles, really was a leader on that team. But one of the reasons why I'm very confident in Kwiatkowski is because Mike Mayock is very confident in him. So this is what Mayock had to say about 2 months ago. You talk about the linebacker. Cory Littleton covers as well as anybody in the league. We feel like Nick Kwiatkowski will wear the green dot and fit in seamlessly with what we have to do. To me, that kind of tells me Kwiatkowski could be a captain on this upcoming year. So I got a little bit of a favor to ask, okay? I'm trying to get to 50K subscribers by the end of June. So I just started doing 2 shows every single week, live shows every week. I want to be able to continue that in July, and I've been told if I don't get 50,000 subscribers by the end of June, we might have to go away from that. So please hit that sub button, spread the show. Let's continue to grow Raider Nation. I'm at youtube.com/Raiders Report. Let's go to my man Trayvon Mullen at number 8 here of Best Raiders entering the 2020 season. He is entering year 2, and when you go out there and look at a lot of, let's say, breakout candidate articles, videos, Trayvon Mullen is in just about every single one of them, and I'm guilty as well. He's in mine. If you haven't seen it, go check out the vid on the channel. This season, he's going to be the Raiders' top cornerback, and I think that's important because last season, he wasn't really prepared for it, and not many rookies are. But a lot of injuries happened. And the reason why I think that he steps up when it matters the most, go back and look what he did at Clemson. But also, look what he did last season. Because when you lose the amount of players that we did, and then you're kind of just thrown into the fire, that's not very easy. And as the season went on, you really saw him kind of mature. And I'm hoping in year 2, with Prince Amukamara, Damon Arnett on the other side, it's going to get even better. The number 7 player on our list, it's Derek Carr. And I'm very curious what you guys have to say about me saying that Carr is the 7th best player on our team. I didn't rank this in terms of most important because if it was most important, Carr would probably be number 1. However, I'm ranking this based on just how good they are at what they do. So he's coming off career highs in completion percentage and passing yards. And also, there's been that myth out there that he's not really good against pressure. You can see there, QBR 95.9 against the blitz, and then also, the passer rating to really help out as well. The reason, though, that I have Derek a little bit lower, and I always say that it's a team sport, and it is, and I don't want to just look at the numbers that you all see on screen. I do want to look at the career record of 39-55, because when I do measure a quarterback, I am going to point the finger a little bit at record. But Carr's a good quarterback, but he does need to take that next step. And all the time, I think a lot of times when a quarterback can take that next step, it's how do they handle pressure. One of the ways that you handle pressure is versus the blitz. Derek last season, best in the NFL, 95.9. But then under pressure, right? We have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. We can all agree with that. But ever since he got hurt back in 2016, a lot of Raider fans say that he's not good under pressure. What I want you to do, take a screenshot of what you see on screen right now, put it on Twitter, put it on Instagram, tag me at Mitchell Renz 365 because I'm trying to squash that rumor. So what do you think, okay? Is Derek Carr a top 10 NFL quarterback? Chris Sims, I talked about on my rumor show earlier in the week, said that he's number 19. I posted on the YouTube community on Thursday. If you guys thought that Derek was a top 15 quarterback, according to the votes, it's like 85% of y'all say that he is. So we're going to make it a little bit more difficult. Is Carr a top 10 NFL quarterback? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. If you're looking for a deal that's a 10 out of 10, go to chatsports.com/RaiderStrong. You're going to be able to get t-shirts, hoodies for men and for women, and take advantage of the deal while it lasts because you can save up to 20%. The t-shirt right that you see on screen, I got mine. I'll be wearing mine on the show next week. It's only $14.99. So take advantage of these offers, okay? Because we can all agree, Raider Nation, there is only one nation, but we are stronger together. It'll be in the comments. It'll be in the description. And if you do get a hoodie or t-shirt, hey, hit me up. Let me see what you think. I'm always curious what you guys have to say about the products that I show on the Raiders Report. At number 6, my man Trent Brown, where he is the highest paid right tackle in the NFL, making $16.5 million a year. And this season, he will actually make up to $21 million. So the reason why I have him number 6 is because I do anticipate a better year for Brown this upcoming season. Why do I say that? Now, even though I think the Pro Bowl is kind of a little bit of a joke, he was able to make the Pro Bowl last season despite battling just a plethora of injuries. And when I think about him being able to come in, and if you follow him on social media, he is working very, very hard, and I think he's going to get stronger. I think he's going to add a little bit more flexibility, which is why he saw some injuries. But last season, only 5 penalties, allowed only 1 sack and 1 QB hit out of the right tackle position. That's pretty good. I just hope the snaps, we can get a little bit closer to 1,000 and not 582. Top 5, ready to get into it? I got Maxx Crosby entering year 2, and when you look at the Raiders and their future, Maxx Crosby is 100% in that future. An absolute steal in the 2019 NFL Draft. I'll say the biggest steal. He was a finalist for the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And when we covered Mike Mayock's conference about 2 weeks ago, my favorite quote out of that was, "I friggin' love Maxx Crosby." And from my discussions with Max, he said that he stays basically in contact with Mayock every single day, letting him know, like, hey, this is what I'm working out. Hey, this is how I'm getting better. And I know Mayock. That's the kind of stuff that he loves. So he's coming off a 10-sack season. Not many rookies have 10 sacks, 14 quarterback hits, and 4 forced fumbles. It's why I made a show that Maxx Crosby deserves to be in the running for the 2019 Defensive Rookie of the Year. But when I thought about the top 3 players in the running, it was Nick Bosa, went round 1. Josh Allen went round 1. It does kind of kill me a little bit to think that we could have had Josh Allen and Maxx Crosby, but I am hoping Cleveland Ferrell can take that next step. The stat that I really want to talk about here, though, and why I'm really excited to see what Crosby can do in year 2, is rookies with 10-plus sacks and 4-plus forced fumbles in their rookie season. Crosby, Mark Anderson, Terrell Suggs, which you can see, 1 Defensive Rookie of the Year, Julius Peppers, maybe you've heard of him, Dwight Freeney, maybe you've heard of him, Javon Curse, Mike Kroll. Yeah, there's a lot of Hall of Famers on that list. I don't want to jinx it, but Max, keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, you could be in Canton one day. Cory Littleton's number 4 here on my list of the best Raiders entering the season, and I did a lot of shows during free agency. I mean, we added a lot of players. But when the Raiders signed Littleton, that $36 million contract, I was not more hyped ever than any show that I made during free agency. We were chugging beers, we were doing shots, we were celebrating. Why? He is one of the most dynamic linebackers in the NFL, the number 1 linebacker in free agency, and the fact that we were able to get him for the price that we did, I was really excited. Now, one of the reasons why I really love Littleton is because he plays 94% of the snaps in 2 straight seasons, but he's also a worker. Gruden grinder, take a drink. In 2016, he was a UDFA and just really, really worked himself into that starting role for the Rams. And I'll say this was one of the biggest reasons why the Rams were a Super Bowl contender the last 2 seasons. Let's get in now to my top 3 here, players of the Raiders entering 2020. I got Josh Jacobs, number 3, entering year 2. And I don't care that Kyler Murray won Offensive Rookie of the Year. I'll say it until I get blue in the face. And if I literally have to hold my breath until I get blue in the face, Josh Jacobs should have won Rookie of the Year last season, period. I don't care what any Cardinals fans tell me. Now, he did miss 3 games due to injury last year, and I'm hoping with a fully, with a I guess, workout plan in the NFL, he can just stay healthy. The shoulder injury did scare me a little bit, but the Raiders were able to add some pieces to the offseason and into the draft, which I do think will be able to keep him healthy. I made a bold prediction saying that it wouldn't surprise me if Jacobs leads the NFL in rushing yards because when fully healthy, with the offensive line, with the pieces we have around this season, I think he can do that. So here are the most rushing yards per game in 2019. This is, again, on a yards per game basis. Derrick Henry led the NFL. Nick Chubb, and then, oh yeah, that guy in the middle, Josh Jacobs. He averaged more rushing yards per game than Christian McCaffrey, more rushing yards per game than Ezekiel Elliott. For him to really take that next step, and for me to put him in like my top 5 running back category, he's got to be a little bit better at the passing game because he didn't have 200 receiving yards last year. But I'm not done with just rushing yards. I want to talk about broken tackles because we saw it. Dude was breaking tackles, and that's a nice amount of broken tackles, right? 69, the most in the NFL last season. 3 more to Nick Chubb, 7 more than Chris Carson. Bottom line is this. He was tough to tackle. He was able to pick up yards. And with a fully healthy offensive line, with more pieces on the outside to really stretch it out, teams aren't going to be able to stack the box against him. And like I said before, don't be surprised if Josh Jacobs could actually be the leading rusher this upcoming season. I'm going to show you this deal one more time before I get out of here because I don't want you to miss the chance. We got T-shirts. We got hoodies for men and for women, and right now they are 20% off. So that T-shirt you see on screen, it's only $18. That hoodie, under $40. The other T-shirt, right here, $14.99. We are stronger together. So if you want one of these bad boys, go to chatsports.com/RaidersStrong. It'll be in the comments. It'll be in the description. Don't miss your chance. Let's get into my top 2 players now, and I have Darren Waller at 2, and the reason why Darren made it over Josh is because it was this. Is Josh Jacobs a top 5 running back? I don't know. Is Darren Waller a top 5 tight end? In my opinion, yes, he is. He is the best receiving option on this team. I know we got Henry Ruggs. I know we got Tyrell Williams. But let's get it straight. Darren Waller is the top receiving threat on this offense. And he's also a very good blocking tight end. Like, that kind of gets overshadowed a little bit because how athletic he is and because he does have, stats to prove that he's a great receiver. But he's also very good at blocking. And that's why I think Darren Waller deserves to be in that top 5. So I wanted to show you the tight ends with the most receptions and yards last season. Luckily, the receptions and yards, it's the exact same. So Travis Kelce led the league with 97 catches, 1,129 yards. But at number 2, it was Waller. Now, I'll be honest. I do actually anticipate his numbers to come down at least a little bit. But I also anticipate his touchdowns to go up a little bit. And as much as I like catches, as much as I like yards, yeah, I'll take touchdowns, and I bet you Darren Waller, he will also take touchdowns over receptions and yards any day of the week. So for those of you that made it this far in the video, I'm going to give you a thumbs up. I'm going to give you a clap, because if you think that Darren Waller is a top 5 NFL tight end, I want you to like this video. And I hope that every single person that makes it this far does like it because, let's be real, Waller is a baller and deserves to be in the top 5 NFL tight end discussion. At number 1, probably not too much of a surprise. I don't really hide it that I love Rodney Hudson, and I think he's the best pass-blocking center in the entire league. And when you look at PFF, their highest-graded pass-blocking centers, he's been the number 1 guy for 6 straight seasons. That's really impressive. Plus, he's reliable. He's missed only 4 games in the last 7 years. Really, really tough player. And I remember when he missed the 1 game last year, we were like, oh, my Lord, what are we going to do? It's because we haven't seen it in so long. But think about this. Look at the stats that you see on screen. 904 snaps, only 3 penalties, 1 QB hit. In fact, only 3 quarterback pressures, 0 sacks. You want to talk about reliable? Also team player, taking a price chop this year and making only $5.6 million so he can make a little bit more so we can build more around this offense in the coming years. So here's some pass blocking grades since 2010. So PFF started grading pass blockers back in 2010, and since then, here are the 5 highest grades since 2010. Rodney Hudson, okay. 2018, Rodney Hudson, wow, they're all Rodney Hudson. You see where I'm going with this? He is the best pass blocking center in the NFL, not just like 2019, but for the past decade. So here's the all-decade pass blocking offensive lineman according to PFF. But the number I really want you to look at there, pressure rate allowed. Who's the lowest? It's Rodney Hudson, and it's not even close. So he's an incredible center. He's an incredible leader on our team, and I'm very, very excited that he's going to be wearing silver and black from start to the end of his career. So obviously it's tough to rank, the top 10 players, and I love all the guys on the team, but I want you to let me know. Who did I leave off my list, right? Did I leave off a guy like a Mo Hurst? I know I'm probably going to get some votes there. Maybe a Hunter Renfrow gets a vote in here. So I want you to scroll on down and let me know who I left off my list of the top 10 Raiders entering 2020. We'll run through them one more time. I got Rodney Hudson. He's my number 1. Darren Waller, 2. Josh Jacobs, 3. Cory Littleton, 4. Maxx Crosby at number 5. And then rounding out my top 10 list, Trent Brown, Derek Carr, Trayvon Mullen, Kwiatkowski, and Richie Incognito. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the number 1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.